Ready to roll? You ready?
I'm born ready.
What is up, Resource Nation? Let me tell you reason number 167 why I love our community. Because days like today, because in the community is a legend like Todd Duncan who reaches out after last week's show and says, man, loved it. I want to come to the Resource community and provide value and speak into the challenge that is halfway mark of 2022. And it's a blessing and an honor that Todd was watching and then also goes, let me help. Let me join the community and help you guys. And that is another reason why I love the community. I think he probably watched the Mortgage Purge or maybe practicing in bad weather. And he said, Ryan, I want to come talk to the group, to the lenders and loan officers and realtors and everybody that watches and says, I want to help them build a purchase business over the next 90 days. Guys, get your notebook out. Like, this is the most relevant thing we could talk about right now. Over 80% of the business being done this year is purchase business, and everybody's a little bit nervous because the market just contracted like it's never have before. It's never expanded and contracted as fast as it did in 2020 and 2022. And man, what a relevant topic today. Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
You know what? I am proud of you as a leader and proud of the group and the thought leadership that's going on here. And when I saw that show last week, I just said, you know what? There's a solution for every loan officer in America that is struggling with whatever pivot they're trying to make based on wherever they've been in the last couple of years. And then there's an entirely new audience, as you know, that has never gone through something like this before.
Right.
And so what does it really look like to have a purchase business plan that works? And we've tested this now with 214 LOs since March, and every one of them has built a pipeline volume of a minimum of 10 new loans a month after the 90 days is done. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That is impressive.
100% purchase.
Guys, we are going to dig in. This is going to be a long form show with a ton of value to go out and, like he said, hopefully have the same results. 10 purchase deals right after this. Guys, also look forward to Sales Mastery. If you haven't signed up, Palm Desert, October 11th and 14th. Also check out High Trust Selling because this is just a bite-sized chunk today. If you want more, you got to dig in more with Todd. So Todd, I'm going to give you the reins. I'm going to let you share your screen and really help us respond to the challenge of 2022 and the contraction and go out and build a purchase business over the next 90 days.
Yeah. So thanks. And Ryan, anytime you want to interact, just let me know, because there's about 14 slides community that I want to go through and just kind of give you a roadmap.
Okay.
And yeah, any dialogue we want to have, just, interrupt and I'll hear it and we can go for it.
We'll do.
I like the quote that's on this slide right now. Trust yourself, your relationships, your faith, and your future. When you do all that, you set in motion a universe of possibilities. I want you at the end of this broadcast to trust yourself more, to have faith in what you're doing, to be bold in your actions, and to realize that it's actually a great market to disrupt in because of how much pressure is on the market and how many people are not rising up and attacking. So the first thing I want to say is, if you don't know who I am, I started in the second worst economy in the last century. Okay. 1981, interest rates were, prime was 22%, gubbies were 16.5, 17, 4 or 5 points. The sky was falling. Everybody thought that nobody would buy and nobody would sell and that the business would dry up. And my grandmother had taught me the power of positivity, the power of possibility thinking. And from a young age at 16, I was an optimist. And so when I'm brand new, I'm a commissioned loan officer and the sky is, quote, falling, how do I kick in optimism? And so I went to some friends of my parents who owned a printing company, and they also happened to do buttons. And I had this button made up, which basically I wore on my suit, and it said, rumor is we're in a recession. I'm not participating. I still have that button today.
I love it.
And I held on to it because every time I called on realtors and builders, and every time I sat down with a borrower, it gave them hope. It gave them hope of a new way of thinking, a different way of thinking. And right now, 50% of loan officers are so scared, they are paralyzed and doing nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys got to decide how to break from that kind of paralysis, right? The market is great if you know what you're doing. The market is great if your skills are sharp. The market is great if you follow a plan every single day and stay on it. And the promise I want to make to you is by the end of 90 days from today, so mark your calendar, if you follow everything I'm going to talk about, you'll add from that point on, starting day 91, 10 more loans a month to your pipeline. And you'll be scot-free and ready to compete in 2023 and beyond. So that's the promise. Do you like
Well,
that,
there's
Ryan?
a takeaway right there, Todd. Like right out of the gate. Let's be honest, most of us didn't really need to follow a plan in 2020, 2021. The loans just fell from the heavens, and that was nice. But now having an actual strategy and a plan is a must. That's where it starts. And I love that. And guys, we were professionally out of shape for a little bit. And now we have to wake up and actually go, what is my plan?
Yeah.
As Bookspan would say, how can I win by noon?
Yeah.
But just starting with the plan, guys, it seems so simple and so stupid to say that out loud, but I'm telling you what, I do this nationwide. And there's a lot of people that wake up and their calendars are completely blank.
Yeah,
Can be that.
100%. So there's an inlet right there. Your calendar should start filling up tomorrow with conversations with real estate agents and builders, whomever else you'd like to have a conversation with. You should build your practice starting tomorrow, Saturday. Think about it, or Friday. Think about it, go through it, let it marinate over the weekend, and hit it Monday. And you won't have any competition. I always tell people, if you don't want competition, do what they don't, go where they aren't, and say what they don't say.
Yes.
And today is a ripe season for you to plant seeds for a harvest. And winter is not coming. Winter is here, right? And so when we look at this positivity, then we have to back the positivity with a plan. Positivity without
Yes.
a plan is not going to work. You just can't show up and say, hey, I'm happy today. How about you? The sun
So
is
good.
shining. Got any buyers I can talk to? No, that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're talking about a plan of action. So here's what I want to propose. I want to propose that you nail a business plan starting Monday. Okay. And I'm just going to walk you through 6 of the variable numbers that we use in our coaching company. And I'm just going to walk you through it starting at the top left. So let's say you want to make 300 grand beginning in 90 days. So you want to get back to that $300,000 a year income, starting that in 91 days. And you want that income for the next 12 months. If your average commission is 100 basis points, you can plug in whatever you want. That's a number that we have to factor in. Then you get to decide how many pre-qual conversations do you want per month per partner. This is what 99% of LOs miss. So it doesn't matter to me if the number's 8 borrower conversations. You could take it down to 4, you could take it up to 16, you could take it down to 1. It doesn't matter. But what this number does is it determines how many referral partners you need to make this plan work. If we go to the upper right, let's just say your average loan amount is $250,000 or whatever it is, right? There's 2 conversion factors that we look at. We look at the conversation of referrals, not leads, referrals from your partners. We look at the conversation to a TRID triggered submission to processing, right? And so let's just plug in 17%. Rates have gone up 300 basis points. The market's a little bit tough. Yeah. Unemployment, the jobs report was off a little bit yesterday. Rates are going up, cost of funds is going up, whatever, right? So the number to work on would be this 17%. And I'm going to show you how to get this to 75%, because let's just face it, if I can get that 17% to 75%, and then 80% of those loans, we'd like to say 90, but 80% of those loans fund, then your business is dialed. And all you have to do, listen very carefully to me, all you have to do is do this plan every day. I'll show you how, but do it every day. And on the 91st day, the next 30 days, you will add 10 more loans to your pipeline every single month. So our elite members, just so you know, we have 33 people in elite. Last year, they made $92 million in commissions. Their pull-through rate is 97%, and their conversion to application rate is 62%, okay? So we're talking about how do you get more volume? You work on these 2 numbers for 365 days, and you're going to be a rock star.
On the street, I know that pull-through ratio is probably feeling really low depending on where you're at because of probably supply and higher rates. Don't let that discourage you because that's going to ebb and flow. So it might be low now, and you might have 30 buyers not able to buy or maybe on the fence because of higher rates. Stack them. Just
Yeah.
keep stacking, guys, because that ratio will come up and you'll see that huge swing on the back end because it's not going to always be like that.
Yeah, and anybody right now that's like out of the market a little bit, or maybe there's some affordability issues, or maybe there's even some qualification issues, those people are buyers at some day in the future.
Right.
And the biggest thing that we see in making this total number 17% go to 75% is you nurture that network. And I'll show you the numbers real quick as we go through this. So let's go down to the lower left under part 1 volume goals. So in this math, I have to help 120 families close a loan in the next 12 months. To do that, I have to originate $37.5 million in volume. To do that, I need to have 150 applications that are triggered into processing come in. That's where the 17% can be affected. If I go to the right, it takes the annual origination goal of 150, takes us down to 12.5 units a month, takes us down to rounded up to 3 loans a week. Okay. And then, or three triggered applications a week. And then how many daily units do I need? So in this math, you would need a loan every other day. Okay. So then if we go to the lower left, it's like, okay, so if I need to get a half a loan, 0.58, and my conversion is 17%, that number pulls from the top, I need to have 3.3 pre-quals a day. So I would just round that up to 4. I need to have 4 pre-qual conversations a day. If I do look at the weekly number, I need to have 17 pre-qual conversations every single week. That's a number, and every day that number should be measured, because if we realize that every day we take this 3.38 and round it up to 4, that means 4 conversations. Let's say each one is 30 minutes. That's 2 hours of time. There's pre-work that the buyer might do, and then you're going to have a consultation, a pre-purchase consultation. And if you do that and convert not 17, but 25%, listen, you're submitting a loan a day to processing. If that number goes from 17 to 25 and you have 4 conversations a day, 1 is a yes. Okay, credit's pulled, everything's done, it's going in. Whether we have a property or not, immaterial, right? We're going to have TBDs as well. Anybody that's on the sideline that's in that number of 4, you got to nurture them over the next 90, 180, 270, 365 days, because those guys pull through when you stay in touch. Now, look over at the bottom right. This is a huge thing that most loan officers miss. In the very bottom, it says, based on the 6 numbers up above, particularly the 8 referrals per month of buyers to have conversation with agents, I need 9.17 agents. I would round that up to 10. I need 10 agents, 2 borrowers a week each. Got it? So that's 20 a week.
Yeah.
And out of that, I'm going to get 5 loans. And then I'm going to nurture 15. And out of that 15, I'm going to get another 10 in the next 365 days. There's where I make over $1 million a year. I go from, if this 80%, and I'll just do it because it's in my head, we're 90%, which I would prefer to be the bare minimum. If I'm doing 20 loans a month and I got a 10% fallout, I'm funding 18 loans a month. Okay, if I take 2 months off during the year on vacation, I work 10 months and I'm funding 18 a month, that's 180 fundings. If I take that conversion from 25% to 50%, I am now at 360 fundings. And if I take that 17, 25%, which we're going to say is the bare minimum, up to 75%, now I'm funding 540 loans a year. Okay, listen to what I just said. There's probably not one of you in this community that would want to stretch beyond 360, let alone 540. But if you were following this math and you had 2 out of every 4 borrowers say yes to you and 90% of those close, you're a millionaire. You're making so much money and you're following a plan every single day. This is it. Right here is the eye of the needle. This is what you have to do. And so now the discipline becomes, do I have the right 10? And am I doing what 99.5% of LOs don't do with those 10 and making it rain? And I'll show you that in just a moment. So I just want to tell you right now, this is where it all starts. Any thoughts, Ryan?
Well, a ton of value right out of the gate. First 15 minutes, guys, I'm telling you, I know that the market was running at 120 miles an hour and it felt like it screeched to like 30 miles an hour. And Todd's right. Like he started with everybody kind of got paralyzed and they looked at their phone and they're like, it's not ringing. It's
Yeah.
not ringing. First of all, you can make calls too. So you don't have to wait for it to ring. But I know that people are just uneasy and uncertain and a little bit paralyzed, even still today in July, going, I'm not sure how to respond. It's going to feel amazing to actually run a playbook and run a strategy. I'm telling you guys, just start day one and follow what Todd just taught us in the first 15 minutes. Just the fact you might even get a loan yet, but you're going to feel better about the fact that I have a plan, I have a strategy, I'm working it every day. You're going to get a dopamine rush because you actually feel like you're accomplishing something, and you're going to want to do that the second day and the third day and the fourth day, and it becomes habit after that, guys. So just the mere fact of going from sitting on your couch or in your office chair waiting for the phone to ring to go, nope, I'm controlling my destiny. I'm going to run this playbook, and this is what the results are going to be. It's going to feel amazing, guys.
Yeah, you want something to happen, you got to go make it happen.
Yep.
That is a basic premise in relationship-based marketing. And on that note, I'm not talking to you about how to get a bunch of transactions. I'm actually talking to you about how to build some deep and penetrative relationships with
Yep.
people, building a castle around these people so that what we begin, you and I in this community with Ryan's leadership over the next 90 days is going to stay with you and your partners the rest of your lives, okay? My team and I funded almost 6,000 loans in 11 years. You can do the math, and we did it. Half of that time was a high interest rate market. The sky was falling, and the button paved the way for everything. So I never had more in my entire career. I never had more than 13 referral partners. And so
Wow.
I need you to understand that if you want to get more business per person, you got to focus in on the people that are right. And then you got to do something that nobody else does. And I'm giving that to you in about 10 minutes. Okay. So let's go to the next slide.
Never more than 13, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So this is my patented, formulated, trademarked process called the circle of cash flow. I'm speaking to 100 realtors here in about an hour. And one of the lenders that's in our elite group is doing this for her real estate agents. And the thing I want you to understand is that when we talk about referring 5 buyers to you that are going to buy a home, we're actually saying that you could actually provide some of those as well to the relationship partnership. So maybe an agent refers you 4, and then one of those borrowers closes, and then that borrower refers you to somebody that you know is in their circle of influence, which we call the circle of cash flow. And maybe you see that on a brokerage statement, tax returns. Maybe they've got a manager at their company. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do this. I want you to know that this screen that you're seeing right now has to happen on every loan. For my promise to add 10 more loans a month starting on the 91st day, you got to do this on every loan. You have to do it on every loan. You have to create enough value for the borrower that they're going to want to tell their friends and family and associates about it, and you got to be intentional about it. We would say to every borrower, my team and I spend 90% of our time making sure every loan and process goes without a glitch, because we want to deliver superior customer experience to all of our borrowers. The only way we can afford to do that is if people like you that are super happy with how this has started out and who are going to be happy throughout the whole thing, tells your friends and family and colleagues about us. Would you commit to helping us build our business to deliver to your inner circle the same kind of things we're doing to you over the time that we process, approve, and close your loan? And everybody's going to say yes. One of our top producers made $4 million last year in sales commissions. He and his team asked for referrals 7 times on every loan, and it's strategic. It's built in. Like a borrower will say, I can't believe how good this is going. Well, the transaction coordinator says, Todd told you we spend 90% of our time making sure everything goes great. Yeah. So thank you for that affirmation. Hey, has anybody since you apply come across your radar that needs help with a loan sometime in the future? And we just ask, and watch this. The deliverable is brilliant service. The reciprocity is more and more referrals. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. So one of our top students funded 708 loans last year, $221 million in volume. And she made a choice 9 years ago on every loan just to put the financial planner for a borrower back into the middle of the circle. So imagine if you're that agent and now there's 7 financial planners that this loan officer works with, and they have 300 clients each. That's 2,100 clients. Guess what realtor gets every referral that comes out of that? The one that referred you to the original borrower who had the original financial planner, and you have nailed that part of the process. And I don't know about you, but you can do the real quick calculation. How much money would you make on your average loan amount if you funded 700 loans a year? Yeah. The answer is ridiculous amounts of money, right? So now watch what happens. So we take this as a premise, right? One of our top guys made $6 million last year in commissions, and he cross-sells every employer that has more than 500 employees. He's the lender for a Hitachi plant in Lexington, Kentucky that has 1,800 employees, all of whom are either renters or owners and want to buy a home or want to move up or want to build. So what I'm telling you right now, this is acres of diamonds thinking. If you've never heard that story, a farmer sells his land because he doesn't have the money, blah, 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 blah. The person that buys the land starts excavating the land to plant a crop, and lo and behold, in one shovel of dirt, there's a bunch of sparkly stuff going on, and it's a diamond mine, right? Right underneath you is this diamond mine. And no mine produces wealth unless it is mined, right?
Right.
So if you want to make your life easy, you do this on every transaction. 100 closings a year becomes 200. 200 closings a year becomes 400. And your realtors and builders and partners benefit because you're cross-pollinating out of this one idea. How does that work? So here's Denise, 700 loans last year. Hello, Mr. Financial Advisor. My name is Denise Donahue, and we have a mutual client, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. I'm their mortgage banker and working on their home loan. I wanted to make sure this 30-year loan aligns with their short and long-term financial goals. Would it be all right if I run this by you really quick? And the financial planner is going to say, sure, I love the Johnsons. What are you guys going to do? And then after that, she goes, hey, I meet with many clients who do not have a retirement plan in place or often have old 401ks sitting at the prior employers. They often need a referral to a financial planner. Hello. I'd like to schedule time for us to visit next week so I can learn more about your business and products you have to offer and see if we might form a professional partnership. What day next week works best for you? Boom. Done. Let's say this financial planner has 350 clients. I wonder how many of the 350 have not had a formal mortgage review or a mortgage efficiency checkup in the last 24 to 36 months. And everybody today that's buying that may have refinanced last year is going to be a refinance in 3 to 6 years anyway. So you got to do this, right? And Denise is just crushing it this way because she is going deep with fewer agents and then branching into these other markets, which then allows you to bring the volume back.
Guys, you can start that tomorrow. This isn't something you have to think out.
You can start it today on your next loan.
Yeah, or the loan you're working on today. I mean, Denise and Todd are literally giving you the blueprint and script, thanks to both of them, to copy and paste and leverage the loan that you're probably working on as you're listening to us right now. I love it. These are things we can do right away.
And I want to point out, Ryan, this is so important. I want you guys to understand Denise did not plug into my system until 2013. Here's what happened. She came to Sales Mastery in 2013, came to the High Trust Sales Academy in December of 2013. 2013, she funded $7 million in loans. The next year after the Academy, she funded $35 million. That is a 5x increase in volume in 12 months, doing what I'm telling you to do right now, okay? And then what ends up happening is in 9 years from the time she plugs into what I'm telling you right now, she is a multi-millionaire, owns a bunch of property, is developing real estate, has a roofing company, does mortgages at scale. Jeez. And in 9 years, she went from 7 million to 221 million. I had
Good Lord.
600 people on a webinar yesterday, and I did a poll, and I said, in what time frame would you like to have the option to retire? 40% said within 5 years, another 40% said within 10 years, and the balance said within 15 years. I'm going to speak to you right now. If you want an option to not have to work, continue working because you work well and you do it well and all that. But if you want an option, just do the math on 217 million. Do the math
Right.
on 700 units. Do the math. And there's enough people in America for your financial dreams to come true if you follow this recipe. So what is the recipe right now? You got to start this on Monday. So what I'd recommend you do on Monday, and this is old school, but it works better than anything. I want you to realize that every person you interact with knows people. This is one of my guys that made $3.6 million last year. I told him, you got to start broadening your horizon and seeing who you can run into that has influence. So he sends me this text out of meeting with me here in Newport Beach and then flying back to Texas. He says, just landed, sat in first class next to Charles, who is a partner for a CPA firm in Plano that has 2,200 physician clients. Hello, hashtag acres of diamonds.
Yeah, right.
And I said to Wally, I said, what changed? And here's what he said on the right. He said, awareness. I think it's the biggest change in me. I'm sure I've met many of these types of professionals in the past, but
100%.
I wasn't aware of the possibilities or opportunities via the circle of cash flow as I am now. And then look at this. Guess what? His brother is a partner at Grant Thornton. So Wally has taken his database in 24 months from under 2,000 to nearly 30,000 people by plugging in the financial planners, plugging in the insurance agents, plugging in the wealth managers, plugging in all those. And guess what? Every referral that comes out of that group goes back to his core real estate agents. Last year, he referred over $2 million in sales commissions to realtors.
Jeez.
So again, how many do you need? Our math on that business plan says 10.
Yeah.
Now watch what happens. So this is old school. This is what I did as a loan officer in 1981, and it is what our high trust sales graduates do today. I'm going to use FedEx, UPS overnight. I'm going to do 20 and 20 new realtors in 20 days, or I'm going to do 30 and 30 new realtors in 30 days. These are business weeks. Or I'm going to do 60 and 60. I'm going to do 60 appointments in 60 days. You got to crush it right now. This is called the 90-day burn. There's no way to make the plan work or the promise to come true if you don't get in front of enough realtors where it nets out to be 10. Now, if you know somebody, you don't have to do this. You simply need to call them with a new script. But bottom line is FedEx with a business letter plus a book. It doesn't matter what book. These are my books, and so I use them, obviously. This gives you a 93% conversion rate to setting appointments. Now, listen, if your skills are soft and you don't know how to set appointments right now, or you have some call reluctance, here's the deal. Add value first, ask for a commitment second, and people will meet with you. Don't go show up. Don't go cold call. Don't do any of that. Find a title guy, find an escrow guy, find another realtor, find somebody who knows somebody that you need to do business with. Make sure they're in the top 40%. You don't want to work with anybody in the bottom 60% because they're just going to suck you dry from a time standpoint. And depending on how much experience you have, you may target on the lower side of that top 40, or you may target on the top side of that one. It's up to you. But I'm going to give you something that came in the other day. This is so powerful. So Cody says, hey, dude, I just got done with lunch with a top 10% agent that I've been courting. I sent him the $6,000 egg book 6 weeks ago. So I made you a promise in 90 days, starting the 91st day, you're going to have your relationships going. He says, during the lunch, I'm getting goosebumps. He goes, during the lunch, he said that book completely changed his business and that he has been sending it out to his sphere. Several loan officers have been chasing this agent, but I was able to win his business thanks to your book and Jeremy Forcier's agent coffee script. Please share with Deb.
That's awesome.
Listen, you guys, 6 weeks. All it took was a book, and all of a sudden, boom.
Good Lord.
So do that every day. I challenge you. I challenge you to do this. Do this every day. Send one book to one agent per day with a cover letter. The cover letter has to have the referral name in it, like the title rep or the other agent that's whatever, and then call 48 hours later, set an appointment. That's all you have to do.
And do it till you net out. I mean, like you said, if it's 20 and 20, 30 and 30, it depends on your efficiency, but it might be 40 and 40. Don't rest until you net out the 10.
Yeah, and that's the key. Now, listen, I'm going to give you the script right now. This is the script I use. It's the script I teach. It's the script that Denise uses. Here's how it sounds. So let's say Ryan's my agent. Hey, Ryan, it's Todd Duncan with ABC Financial. Ron Songrath over at First American Title said that you're a top producer, wanted me to introduce you to a pretty exciting business concept. Takes about 60 seconds. Is now a good time to share that with you? So Ryan's my prospect. So Ryan, what would you say?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
it. Okay. So do you see what I just said?
Yep.
Hey, Ryan, it's Todd Duncan with ABC Financial. I was given your name by Ron Songrath at First American Title. He says you're a top producer and he wanted me to introduce you to an exciting business building idea. Do you have 60 seconds right now? And Ryan's going to say yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say, Ryan,
love to hear it.
Yeah, Ryan, I want to introduce you to the Consumer Referral Program. It is a program that we offer to agents to whom we've been exclusively referred. It is designed to bring you a constant flow of qualified buyers and sellers for you to sell real estate to, sell real estate for, or both. Does that sound intriguing?
Absolutely. Yeah. And guys, agents are looking for leadership right now.
100%.
Too. Yeah.
100%. So I'm going to say, Ryan, I'd like to come by your office, spend 30 to 40 quality minutes with you. I'd like to learn what you look for in your lending partnerships. And I want to introduce you to this idea. Tell me a good time next week that you could meet. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's all I'm doing. One a day, 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 one a day.
And that's executable. That's not, that's not over the top.
This is easy. This is easy peasy.
Yep.
Ryan, remind me, I'll send you a copy of the letter that we recommend. And then I'm going to send you another document for everyone that's in your community to be able to fill out a form, which is every referral the borrower is going to introduce you to. Okay.
Love it. Thank you.
Now watch this. We're going to take this home right now. So the key then is when you have a meeting with these people, don't sell them on anything. This is a research project we did, and we know the more loan officers talk, the less likely they are to get the deal. So you've got to be very intentional and purposeful about the kind of questions you ask, and you need to ask less questions that are more profound, that give you more knowledge of what people are looking for, where you can meet them right now. This is phenomenal. This is the biggest innovation in high trust selling that I've created since the book came out in 2002. So if you're going to use 100 words in a realtor conversation, your conversion is going to be about 15%. Nobody wants that. You don't want 15 out of 100 realtors to say yes. Okay, so I'm going to start peeling it back. I'm going to peel it to 80%, 70%. I'm going to get so good that out of 100 words, I only have to use 25. And then maybe I'm going to get so good that instead of 25, I only need to use 10 words. And 10 words done the right way could get somebody to say yes. So this is called, listen carefully, this is called conversational productivity. And if you're getting shopped today and you got buyers who have perception that rates are lower somewhere else, you got to really nail this. You've got to ask a question that the other lenders have never asked, that gets the borrower to think, maybe I should have a conversation with you, because that guy that quoted me this didn't even have that conversation, right?
Yeah.
So what we end up looking at is we end up looking at what are the question categories. I think everybody understands this, right? Less is best. Don't talk your way out of the sale.
Well, that's tough for salespeople or high C's. We like to talk, but this is the first time I've ever seen that graph. And I can absolutely see why that's true. But guess what? If I'm not talking, who is? The person I'm courting. They're talking, they're sharing, you're gathering intel. And that's really tough for us to close our mouth and be quiet. So I love that slide there, Todd.
Yeah. We got two more, and then I can take any questions you want, Ryan.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes in, man. We're packing tons of stuff in, so we're right on target.
It's all good. Listen, guys, I want you to understand, here's my innovation on high trust. I'm a sales entrepreneur. I innovate. I always try to innovate. And 10 years ago, the perfect high trust interview with an agent was 45 minutes. It was a big sit down, and it was, what's important to you about being a realtor? What's important about success to you? What do you look for in a lender? Blah, 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 blah. And that was good then. Today, buyers are coming before agents, and agents are struggling to get more business. And so now what I want to do is I don't want to ask as many questions. I want to ask like one pertinent question. All right. And so if I can ask one pertinent question, then I'm going to be able to get business. So this whole idea that I'm sharing with you hinges on you having this conversation. It takes 2 minutes. I'm going to do it right now. So when I sit down with you, I'm going to ask you one of these 6 questions. Okay. So let me give you a present state question. To Ryan, I would say, Ryan, based on where your real estate practice is right now, what needs do you have that aren't being met or that you don't have a solution to that I could come alongside you and help you right now? Okay, that's a present state question. A future state question would say, Ryan, based on where you want your real estate practice to be in the next 12 to 36 months, what are 3 or 4 of the things that I could come alongside you and help you with so we could build that future business together using this methodology that we're talking about?
Love it.
I'm going to use an introduction. I could sit down with Ryan and say, Ryan, a lot of lenders call on realtors to get loans. I'm different. Ron Sondrath asked me to contact you because he thought our time together would be valuable. And I'm different than every loan officer on the planet. I help my realtors win. I know that the business will come, but my number one job is to help you win. If I help you win, I know you will help me win. I need to ask you a question before we get into this. Help me understand what's important about success to you as a realtor. What are you really trying to accomplish? And as soon as I get that question out of there, I am off to the races. How about borrowers today? How about getting rate shopped? How about, a buyer says, what are your interest rates on a 30-year fixed rate loan? I'm going to use a future state question. What are your financial goals for the next 5 to 10 years? Because I would need to marry up the mortgage strategy and recommendation to those plans.
So
or
good.
A first-time home buyer. Okay. I know they're scared, right? All first-time home buyers are scared. So what is my question? To a first-time home buyer, it could be, what would it mean to you to own a home? How long does that question take? It takes like 3 seconds to ask that question. We have 200 LOs that we've put through a trial on Talk Less, Sell More. And Ryan, we need to get that paper out to the whole community. I think I talked to you about it last time, but This is the governing white paper for how to execute what we're talking about right here. And so I told everybody what to do. I gave them 30 days to do it, just like we're giving you 90 days to get this thing rocking. We got back together to share success stories. This loan officer, Tim, talked about working with a first-time home buyer couple. They were moving from Anchorage down to Portland, Oregon. And they hooked up on Zoom, and he looked at them and told them how grateful he was for the chance to help them. He loves working with first-time home buyers and making their dreams come true. And here was his question. So before we get into anything, rate, program, product, anything, I just have one question. What would it mean to you to own a home? 10 words, not 25 words, 10 words. And then he paused, which any great salesperson pauses. You don't answer for the customer the question you've just asked them. It's a big one.
Guys, keep the slide that Todd shared before this in the back of your mind while you're executing. Yeah, exactly. Keep that visual, so it's easier to and then let them talk. Because I bet you that's a 20-minute answer for most people.
Yeah. So here's what happened. He asked the question, and then there's this dead silence. And he told me, he said, I wanted to say something, but I remember you said, don't say a word. And so then the wife starts crying profusely, big time. Tears are just streaming off her face, which then activates the husband's emotion. He starts crying. And these guys are in full tear mode to the question, what would it mean to you to own a home? And the wife mustered this answer. We would be the first couple in the history of our family to own real estate.
Yeah.
I need to say to you right now, this is what happens with conversion. He asked one question. The answer was less than 5 seconds. We would be the first family in the history of our lineage to own a home. And here's what he said. This is how he inked the deal. I'm going to help you achieve that. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
New loan, 33 days later, they're in their home. Guess how many first-time home buyers they knew that they referred to Tim? 9. He's done 9 additional loans with 9 referrals because he blew the mind of one couple. And that's what we need to do in this business. Now, here's the finale. If you keep doing what you are doing, what we just did is not going to work. So this is one of our data points. Do you conduct partnership planning sessions at least monthly with your partners? 13% of loan officers out of 5,000 loan officers surveyed say yes. 86%, 87% say no. No wonder nothing works. No wonder we don't get business from our partners. No wonder, right? So what I want to do when Ryan and I are done is I say, Ryan, I want to talk to you every month about our business, spend maybe a half an hour in a business review kind of deep dive, and then set us up for success as we go forward. And in between each of those months, I want to call you every week because I have 2 questions to ask you every week that when you answer them, I'll be able to refer more buyers and sellers to you with that consumer referral program we talked about.
Yep.
Okay. So do you have an acquisition strategy with your partners to generate buyer referrals? 11% say yes. Just decide right now. Don't tell anybody. What group are you in?
Yeah.
And this is payday right here. This is Moneyball right here. The 2 questions are these. Who have you met in the last 7 days that you're not sure they're going to use you? Whatever buyer, whatever seller, how many people they've come across, and they're just not sure. I'm going to call them on your behalf. I'm going to cross-sell you as the agent of choice, and I'm going to set up a pre-purchase consultation with them, and I'm going to bring that business to you.
So good.
Now, right now, if they have 10 buyers and 4 are pre-approved somewhere and 4 know a lender, you're only getting 2 referrals a month. I want to talk to everybody. So what's the second question? Who are you showing property to in the next 7 days that I've not yet had a pre-purchase consultation with? That by so doing, we'd be able to put them in an almost cash position from a negotiating standpoint. I'm asking these 2 questions every single week. Remember the business plan? 2 borrowers a week per agent, 8 a month per agent. This is how you generate that. Now, how and why would they give these to you? Because you have done what's called the lost leads conversation. Here's how it sounds. Mr. Agent, I'd love to know how many transactions you closed in the last 12 months. Let's say the agent says 30. I'm going to say, just out of curiosity, how many people do you think you and your team needed to talk to close 30 sides? And let's just say they say 300. Keep the math easy. It's usually like 10x that.
Right.
So I'm going to look them in the eye. I'm going to say, so that means 270 people did not use you. Do you think any of them would have used you and bought through you or listed through you or both if you had had a tighter follow-up strategy? 100% of the time they say yes.
Yeah, of course.
So then what I'd say is, so that means out of the 270, if we got really conservative, there'd be another 10% of that group would have bought and sold or both from you if we had a tighter follow-up plan. Yes. Then I'm going to ask them how much they make per transaction, or I'm going to know the average side. Let's just keep it simple in this conversation. $10,000 a side, buy side 10, sell side 10. It's probably more than that in some markets, obviously, but let's just use that number. So I can look at Ryan or the agent. I can say, so listen, that means you're leaving $270,000 on the table every year. Do you want to do something about that? They're going to say yes. Great. What I'm going to do is call you every single week for the next 12 weeks. I'm going to ask you 2 questions every single week. We're going to pull in 27 to 37 deals a year for you that you're not getting right now because I'm going to be your marketing partner. Most lenders are not their agent's marketing partner. I'm going to be your marketing partner. I win, you win, they win. All right. And we're going to do that for 12 weeks. And then if that is working at scale, you will then have the habit and your team will have the habit of making this referral every single
So money.
And now we're done.
So good. What do you guys want to do? Like sit on your couch, wait for the phone to ring, or execute that plan? I mean, that's a no-brainer, guys.
It's 100% a no-brainer. And I got to tell you right now, I got a text yesterday. I'm just going to say this. This is one of our elite members. She said, I can't believe it. Everybody's crying the blues right now. And the last 2 months combined, I funded $28 million in loans. She's the loan officer. That's it. There's not another loan officer in her branch.
There's so much opportunity.
$27 million in May and June when everybody is crying the blues. How do you do that?
Just focusing their energy on the wrong thing, right? Like
you're doing what we talked about. So Ryan, that's my promise. That's my hope for everybody that Somebody asked me today, how do you succeed in a tough market? And I said, master the basics. And basics, believe that you can, have a positive attitude, have a simple strategy, which I just laid out for you, have intense focus, and do it consistently. That is all you have to do. Believe, attitude, okay? Strategy, simple, 10 agents, 15 agents, whatever it takes, okay? Intense focus every day, same thing. Discipline equals freedom, as Jocko Willink says all the time. And the bottom line is, in 90 days, you'll be on pace to add 120 loans a year beyond what you've done in the last 12 months.
So good, man. I got one quick follow-up question,
Yeah.
guys. I know we went long, but 45 minutes to build a purchase business over the next 90 days, well worth our time.
Yeah.
He just literally gave you the blueprint. Like, my favorite movie right now, most people have watched it, Maverick. He tells them, don't think, just go act. Guys, don't think about this. Don't overanalyze. Just go act. Just go do it. Okay. It's so easy. I love it. So my follow-up question is this, and it's real quick. You've talked a lot about like the J Forces of the world and Mortgage Nerd. Like these guys are on a different planet. And I want you to speak to that LO that maybe was at 30 million last year and is at 15, or at 20 million and at 10. And also we have a huge community of new loan officers, which I love, new blood in the industry, but they're trying to fight and scratch and claw just to build a business. And they might have heard today, like, well, dude, I'm not trying to make $1 million. I'm just trying to build a business and like stay in the business. So I don't want you guys to click out just because this works for the upper echelon of our industry. I want you to listen in, and also I'll give Todd, give you a chance to speak to that group. Hey, I'm just trying to stay relevant in this business right now. I'm not trying to make 1 or 2 or 3 million. Just try to stay relevant. Can you speak to them real quick, and then we'll close?
Yeah, I mean, I remember as a brand new loan officer, being in the crosshairs, and if you can just go where I was, man, 17.5% government loans, 18.5% first, seconds combined, almost 19%. And I closed $27 million with an average loan amount of $87,000 in my first year, following the plan I just laid out for you. People said that I didn't have experience. And I looked at him, I said, I may not have experience, but I'm committed to excellence, and you're going to win because of that commitment. And I just did not get rolled over. I did not get rolled over. So to the new people, maybe it's 2 years, maybe you've been here 3 years and you've never had to really build the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're a business owner, every loan officer on the planet is a business owner. You're in charge of your own business. The best investment you can make is the investment in your own business. You can get a 40 to 70% return in the first year by doing what I just said to you, and it's free. Our coaching clients right now are paying $800 a month, $1,300 a month, and $3,000 a month, and we dollarize that out. So to the new originator, I would say that decide how much money you need to be okay right now while you rebuild and retrench. And I don't know what the number is. Maybe it's 6,000, maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's less. It doesn't really matter. What is your minimum must have? Let's say it's 3 loans because you need, I don't know, $10,500 and $3,500 each. Let's just say it's that. You can get 3 loans a month more than you're getting right now in 30 days if you do what I just said. Okay. I am telling you right now, every loan officer that's going out there panicked, looks panicked. They feel panicked. They sound panicked. You don't want to do that. You want to be steady as the ship. You want to understand that right now is the perfect storm to sit down, ask questions that these agents have not been asked, and have them resonate with your commitment to helping them win. I had a guarantee of $1,500 for 2 months. That was it. I was flying solo, and I had to make stuff happen. And here's what I want to tell everybody. The effort you put in now, okay, the bigger the effort and the more focused the best practice is, which I've tried in 45 minutes, and thank you for the extra time to lay out, that sets the seeds for the future harvest. You're not where you are today because of what you did today. It's because of what you did or didn't do, like last week and last month. And you'll be tomorrow where you are based on the actions that you take today. And anybody that understands success understands it's repeat, 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 repeat. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, right.
And I would say if you follow this and your goal is to have 4 borrower conversations a day, I love Bookspan. I'd like to win by 10. I'd like to make my commission by 9:30.
Right.
I mean,
Why
and
noon?
the ultimate goal is I'd like to have people on my team that make it rain by 9:30 or 10. But Bookspan's point, which is so important, is why do we take a whole day to get accomplished what we could do in an hour
Yeah.
or two, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I love the whole idea of this bad boy right here, my hourglass. Time. It's my, you don't get it. It doesn't renew when you waste it.
Guys, we spent 45 minutes and just got an ironclad blueprint how to succeed over the next 90 days. Can you imagine spending more time in High Trust Sales Academy versus just 45 minutes? Can you imagine spending 3 days in Palm Desert at Sales Mastery? Like, this is just 45 minutes that can change and will. I have no doubt it will. If you guys act and don't overthink and just execute, I have no doubt that you'll execute at the level that Todd's talking about. But dig in more. This is just 45 minutes with Todd, High Trust Selling Academy and Sales Mastery. And I'll leave you with some positivity, guys. I know, again, I said it full circle at the beginning. The market has never expanded and contracted like it did in 2020 to 2022. And that has us feeling uneasy, maybe not even good about ourselves. Yeah. But guys, it's actually going to be the third best year in the last 15 years. It's the top 3 years, guys, in the last 15 years. Yeah. It's not as bad as it feels. I know it feels bad, but we're in the top 3. Okay, guys, get excited about that. Go out, execute the plan that you heard today. I'm so thankful that we had Todd on, because that's exactly what we have to do. 2021 and 2020, we're hungry hippo for lenders. Get as many loans as you can and shove them in as fast as you can to make as much money as you can. 2022 is not that year. It is a time to plant and grow your purchase business, which is exactly why Todd's on the show today, and he did exactly that. Thank you so much, Todd.
Yeah. So final thing I want to say to you guys, if you want to come to Mastery, we have a special code through Ryan's community. It's called SM Pod, POD, as in podcast. SM Pod will get you $500 off the retail ticket because you're part of this community. So that's number one. Number two, if you need any help from us or commentary, you can hit me on Todd Duncan Official on all the social channels. Direct message me if you'd like to ask a question. I'm in a season right now where I am having more fun than I've ever had, because I know what this market can produce for the people who figure this out quickly. And I just believe in you guys. I believe in the human spirit. I believe that every one of you watching this can go out and execute this. And don't make it perfect. Just take action and learn on the way. Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no. Don't worry about it. Don't get down on yourself. Dust yourself off. You can't succeed without failing. Failure is part of success. And the goal is just don't make the same mistake twice. Yeah. If you do that in 90 days, you're gonna fund an extra 120 loans a year. And just do the math. That's another 400 grand. Sure. Have fun doing it.
We'll get all the resources that Todd referenced today. We'll put them in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys next week.